Hello everyone, this is Marcia Melendez, your friendly Brooklyn Realtor, bringing you videos about real estate, entrepreneurship, and everything Brooklyn. Today we're going to take a look at the market for 2022, and I'm going to let you know what I think is going to happen. Before we get started, please remember to give me a thumbs up for the video and subscribe so I can continue to bring you more videos such as this one. Everyone wants to know what's going to happen in 2022 with the real estate market. I wish I had a crystal ball so I could tell you. In the meantime, let's analyze what some of the experts have had to say, and then I'm going to give you my take on it. The only challenge with looking at what the experts have said is that they're not too consistent either. Let's look at what they are saying. In general, the experts anticipate that the market will continue slowing down from the frenzy that we saw last year when prices shot up to new heights. Nevertheless, they believe prices will remain high and inventory will remain tight, while mortgage rates begin to rise. On the high end of the spectrum was Zillow and Goldman Sachs, who project that home prices this year will raise a whopping 13.6%. Goldman Sachs goes on to say that all of the shortages afflicting the U.S. economy, they think the housing shortage may last the longest. Realtor.com had this to say. On the other hand, they think prices will increase at a much slower rate of just 2.9% this year, compared to the averages of over 15%, which we saw all over the country last year. Notice that no one said that they think prices are going to come down. Prices aren't anticipated to come down from the highs that we had last year because there are so many new buyers flooding the market. I wonder, where are all these new buyers coming from? Well, some people were smart and saved their stimulus money from last year. That, together with all the savings from not hanging out during the COVID-19 shutdowns, this money they are using to finally buy a home. Then you have the whole trend in being able to choose more flexibility in your working location. Many people can now work from home at least part of the week and have chosen to move further out to suburban areas because commuting is no longer crucial in choosing their home vis-a-vis their job location. Another big source of all these new home buyers in the market are the first-time millennial home buyers. Both Zillow and Goldman Sachs took note of this point in their 2022 forecast. We're in the midst of the 5-year period between 2019 and 2023, in which the 5 largest millennial birth years, between 1989 and 1993, they're finally hitting the all-important first-time home buying age of 30. Isn't that wonderful, buying a house at 30? According to their forecast, there won't be enough homes to satisfy all of the demand that will occur this year and next. Let's look at what this means for both Brooklyn sellers and buyers. Let's face it, it was a challenging year for Brooklyn buyers in 2021. Nevertheless, we had a record of homes sold throughout the borough. Sales of co-ops and condos were not that brisk, and it has been especially challenging to find a 2-family and up house. Prices in New York City have always been relatively high, so there was only that much more that they could rise. High prices should not be new news for us. After all, we're Brooklynites and we know homes are costly here. This was a factor in the average New York City price appreciation of last year being relatively lower as compared to the huge leap we saw in other areas and states across the country. Locally, the market should calm down further, which we expect as many more sellers put their homes on the market this spring, hoping to catch the tide of high home prices before they trend lower next year. It's still expected to be challenging for buyers, especially those purchasing their first home. I would say, based on my own recent experience in Brooklyn with home sales, I would say that the local real estate market is likely to continue to move fast. If you see a home you like, you may want to jump on it right away. Remember, inventory is still low, even though more homes are coming. You definitely should not put your plans on hold because you're waiting for those additional houses to hit the market. Please, please, please don't be like many of my potential buyers that have been waiting for their dream home to appear at a lower price than what is now selling in the market. As we keep saying, prices are up and they're not going to come down. By the way, waiting for prices to come down is also a no-no if you are a serious buyer, because they're not going to come down, only seeming to go higher each year. Instead, stick with your search and persevere through today's low inventory. You can find your next home if you're patient and focused. Remember your goals and why finding a home is so important. You and your family need somewhere to live. If not mortgage, then you will have to pay rent. You know, living in your own home will afford you a better lifestyle than the one you now have. Isn't that true? You want to increase your family's overall net financial worth by purchasing your own home. And you know that one of the easiest ways for ordinary people like you and I to do that is to purchase a home. These factors should be the driving force behind your home search. Also, this is no time to go it alone. Commit to working with a realtor that you can trust, who can guide you through the whole process. Home buyers working with a real estate salesperson have much more success in purchasing than those who try to go it alone. Buying a home is not as simple as we'd all like it to be, but the process doesn't have to be as stressful as you might believe it will be. While buying a home is no simple task, working with a real estate agent offers you overall support each step of the way. For sellers, the 2022 market will continue to be a seller's market with fast-moving homes and rising prices. Many sellers saw gigantic profits as they sold their homes last year. Experts are predicting that this year prices will also rise, but less frantically than they did in 2021. Some sellers also saw their homes sit on the market until they had made a nice price adjustment downward. Never a good idea, as it is just lengthens the selling process and creates more levels of stress for you, the seller. This factor just went to prove once again that the real estate market always adjusts itself, and it is never a good idea to be too greedy when pricing your home for sale. Price growth is expected to move back towards a normal range now that the housing experts say that the market is normalizing. But what does normalizing mean? For sellers, the competition for their homes should be a bit less intense. The pace of price growth is going to slow notably, bringing it more in line with buyers' income, says industry experts at Realtor.com. With prices high and mortgage rates beginning to tick up, people are as aggressive in what they're willing to pay for a house. I would add that if you need to sell your Brooklyn home, do it sooner than later to achieve the best price, as I don't think there will be as many bidding wars as we got in the later months of 2022. But because of the health crisis, many of us have spent more time at home, and that's led us to reevaluate both what we need in a house and how much we appreciate having a safe haven that we call home. If you've found that your current home isn't filling all your needs, you may be wondering if it's time to find a new one. And if you have thought about selling your home in the past, this could be the best time for you to do so. When selling anything, you always hope for strong demand and limited supply. This maximizes your leverage when you're negotiating the sale. Home sellers are in that exact situation right now, as home buyers realize they need to be flexible negotiations and make very competitive offers to gain the home they are seeking to buy. To tip things even further to your favor, make sure you have a competitive sales price, flexible closing date, and minimal offer contingency. Working with a professional realtor is definitely a big plus as well. Whether you are thinking of selling or buying, you should examine the personal needs of your family above all else. When it comes to our primary home, it's not prudent to just think of the price and try to time the market. What are your current and future life goals? What are the ongoing changes in your family that make selling or buying now the best choice to make? If you've found your current home isn't filling all your needs, you may be wondering if it's time to find a new one. Approach your decision thoughtfully and explore your options. Reach out to me for any specific advice or questions you may have. I can always put you in touch with someone who can offer location-specific advice. Until the next time.